on the scheduled date. You signed as the Deputy Director General and as the Acting Director General, and you notified us in writing that the accounting officer, who is the Director General, is out of country. Now, assist us appreciate whether you are the accounting officer and or whether the Director General, I don't know, the names are not mentioned herein, is the accounting officer. Because you must have had a very good background before you write. This letter was written to Parker Kosase by you on July 29th, 2026.
Chair, the Director General was expected to be coming back on that same day. So the assumption was that if he's coming back and is going to be available for that meeting, we can request for a reschedule. So we interacted with him before that letter was sent. But Chair, in my acting position as Deputy Director General, I've taken decisions on behalf of the organization. I've attended the Auditor General's meetings and responded to Auditor General's reports. I've done everything else that an accounting officer should and is obliged to do because of the powers of the Act that gives me the position of Deputy Director General. But I leave the decision to you, Chair, and the members to make that decision, whether I'm a rightful accounting officer to sit in here and respond on behalf of Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Given the authority. Let's say the PSST normally appoints accounting officer. In this case, it should have been the Director General of the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. So if the Director General is on leave or he is indisposed, by the time you act as the Acting Director General, you must have that power, that position to have the accounting powers. So in this instance, you cannot come here and say you have accounting powers when it is not put in writing. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But by the time she was writing, he was not here. And her appointment letter isn't elaborate as that. We are yet to cross-check also with the Act. Now, what was your input?
Miss, is it Olive?
Olive.
Yes.
Olive Virungi, yeah. Or being out of office, interpreted as absence. That is a. I think that is your submission. So, Madam Olive, did the Director General write to you?
Chair, the letter you have with you that I've provided is the kind of letter that the Acting Director General has been leaving behind with me.
Which one?
Which he also shares with the Board of Directors.
Which one? You haven't shared such letter?
We'll share that. Let them check, because we have a letter that the Director General wrote to me asking me to act. Copy to the Board of Directors, and that has been the practice, Chair. But we are going to share that with you.
We need to interrogate that letter to Berlin. I'll be away from office from 15th July to 10th August 2026, or as will be advised by the hospital to continue specialized treatment. Following up, while I'm away, you will take charge of the organization. You will take charge of the organization, in which case you will continue following up and leading teams in the performance of the organization activities. You are familiar with all the current organization activities as indicated below, plus emerging activities. We have already discussed some. The following, however, need to be focused on: following up on issues regarding Kabalega Airport, among others. I did engage the Minister on the proposed meeting with the board. He has, however, please feel free to consult me on phone when you need us to discuss matters. Fred Keba Mwesije, CC Management. My challenge is that the memo used abbreviations from DG to DG. Madam Olive, I don't know if these are. The date is 13th July 2026.
10th August.
From 15th to July, 15th July to 10th August 2026.
So the letter has it expired?
So the delegation has expired. And two, they use the abbreviations. I don't know if they are tenable. DG to DDG. Is it what? So
Chair.
What if he made maybe a different?
Chair, just to add on the issue of July to 10th of August, will be advised by the hospital to Berlin to continue specialized treatment. Chair, he indicated this because when you're dealing with medical issues, you're actually not in control of what exactly happens. And because he's seen this trend happening since November, he made that provision there. On the titles, Chair,
is it a provision of the law that you use DG and DDG?
Maybe, Chair, just to add on number 6.
No, before number 6.
Okay.
These titles. Now, he was writing to who? And who wrote? Of course, he signed as Fed by Mwesige. How do you arrive at these titles? We need to appreciate that the letter was actually meant for you.
Chair, I want to believe, because this is an internal memo, and the internal memo at Civil Aviation Authority, Chair, we do use the titles. His title is DG, Director General, and my title is DDG, Director General. Chair,
do you have a document within the system that brought into use these abbreviations? Because for the Act, we look into in the interpretation section. We don't have,
Chair, we are proceeding to check the human resource manual, but the letter is signed by Fred, both at the front and at the back, as authenticity.
That one I appreciate.
Letter,
He signed and wrote a name without title.
2 pages, yeah.
However, it is not addressed to. We want to see to whom it was addressed.
Chair, we have the human resource manual of policies and procedures.
Yes.
July 2022, which lists the acronyms starting from the titles. We have DAS, Director of Airports and Aviation Security, DANS, Directorate of Air Navigation Services, DDG, Deputy Director General, DG, Director General, DHRA, Directorate of Human Resource and Administration, DISA, Directorate of Safety, Security and Economic Regulations, FSS, Flight Safety Standards.
Maybe that manual was approved by who?
Chair, this manual, as per the provisions, is approved by the Board of Directors.
And when was it approved? Why didn't he write to you as the way he signed? Wouldn't it be easier on such serious matters? Yes, Honorable Senator.
Chair, thank you once again. We appreciate the methodology of working.
Public Finance Charter, and the Ministry of Finance was particular in the 2026-2027 Finance Charter. It is specific that accounting officers are personally liable to make sure that they account to Parliament. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask whether we are moving right by the acting Director General to say that she has the authority when actually it is not in writing. I still insist we should not proceed because...
Thank you. What did you have to say?
Like I said initially, I said the prerogative, Chair, of this decision rests in your hands. All we were trying to do is to submit whatever information we had to prove to you that I'm in this position by virtue of the acting position and in writing by the Director General, including Chair, that I've attended other parliamentary committees in the same capacity basing on the same letter. But Chair, this, I leave it to you, Chair, and the directors. You will guide us on the next action and will oblige with whatever decision you take as Chair.
Your last communication with the Director General, what was contained therein?
Chair, I don't have that in writing. It's on phone call.
Yes.
And Chair, if you're not well, you're not well. Because he told me that he had planned to come back on Saturday. And he rang us when we were next on Monday and said that due to the doctor's guidance, he's unable to travel back to Uganda. That's on phone, Chair. It's not in writing. What I have in writing is what expired.
What you have in writing is what expired.
With the provision of saying that he will not be, if he's not well, it will depend on the doctors.
Yes, Honorable.
Chair, I think, Madam Deputy Director, your statements are making Chair. Your document is expired. You have what? But Chair, I don't know whether our clerk has gotten the act. Because where the Director General writes, if the Act of Parliament said that she can be accounting officer,
anyway,
that's what I want your guidance. I don't know whether it has got. Thank you, Chair.
Our legal counsel has got the right provision and has considered on the amendment. She's now interrogating the content of section 16 to be certain. But needless to say, because of the nature and the revelation within Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, where even top managers and directors are now facing a possible, I want to use a favorable language, and several are in acting capacity. As we process the findings of the Auditor General, we must be particular, because we must identify and receive the appropriate answers and responses on the audit queries and observations from the right parties. But so far, what we have identified, we shall need an interaction with the board. We need to appreciate its functionality and their failure to offer oversight. Because part of the reasons mentioned for the interdiction are also observed by the Auditor General within the audit report 2024-2025. And now this speaks volumes. Number two, the nature of delegation. Of course, the language of the law has assisting the director, and also the aspect of absence, which require a thorough interrogation. But as well, with the presence of the Director General, as a preliminary, we are not yet convinced with the chronology of administration and the transition from the person absent to now you in your acting role. For the abbreviation, she has presented, what manual was it? We shall need a copy, a human resource manual, to clarify that these abbreviations, which are not provided for within the Act, we are actually processed, because even the delegation was a bit tricky, that they did not mention her name or her full title. It has an abbreviation. We had to interrogate further to the manual, which I think provides for this abbreviation, and at that level, I would believe so. Now, as to whether this has been extended in writing, she has mentioned it has been extended verbally.
Which one, Chair?
Yes?
Chair, the acting said I will be away from the office from the 15th July, 10th of August.
Yes.
Or, as will be advised by the hospital in Berlin, to continue with the specialized treatment. And I explained that I want to assume that he indicated it in here because the number of times when you go for medical attention, it's never clear whether you'll take 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I think he was basing on the precedents that have been going on ever since he started going for the medical treatments. And I think that's why he put it in this letter.
So colleagues, let me ask here, how should we proceed?
In charge of this engagement, you have the right to make a ruling whether they should continue with us or whether we should discharge them. Then we can fix them to come to another date when the MD is there. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, I'm Twesiga Stephen, Member of Parliament and a member of this committee. Chair, if we could be guided by Section 45.
The head of state wrote complaining about rampant corruption in the Ministry of Works and in the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. A letter I've received from the Acting Director General. And what is cited herein, this is July 2026, is an observation to do with unfunctional scanners. Now, if you relate way back, that the Auditor General observed in 2024, 2025, the same. This particular communication is dated 2026, meaning the situation has not in any way changed. When you look at the said leave by the Director General, it is also in the same July, the same month of this letter and directive. It's also seeking leave in July up to August. It may be true, it may not be true, but we want to take it as that. And the subsequent changes thereafter. Now, with that background and in the circumstances, we shall not be quick to believe that whereas human beings can fall sick, that rhetoric of away for medical reason can be tenable without substantial proof. In the circumstances that the deputy and the responding deputies were interdicted, someone may choose to be away just to avoid being part of this particular process. We are not yet convinced that the Director General, much as he may have been off and on, but the period and the background is questionable. It is July, the same month where you have a presidential directive, where you have this. But again, these same observations were already available within the Auditor General's report. So we cannot just take it lightly. And the communication, he chose to use abbreviation. We don't want someone to run away from liability and responsibility that I wasn't given the opportunity to clarify. Because I had some colleagues telling us, how can this one be interdicted and this one left? I think I had it from a member here. It's from you. Yeah. So we want to appreciate this background. We want to say that the accounting officer was misrepresented. However, even in the circumstances that we have a deputy, I believe from your own confession that the letter had a date, although she tried to explain by the other language of the letter which has no date. So I believe it will be prudent that for us to proceed well, you get a follow-up letter validating the extension, so that we don't rely on your phone conversation where we are not parties. That we talked on phone. I was even in Exco. I think I captured you well. We don't want to rely on your translation of the phone conversation, because you can say, I did not tell this to my deputy. At least for this in writing, we can be sure. But it may say, I did not say this to my deputy. Let's get an updated version of the delegated responsibility. And where possible, also secure a quick consultation with the PSST to ascertain as to whether with that delegation, you accordingly also take up such a role. We don't want you to be held in contempt at one stage, because an institution cannot have two accounting officers. It must be one accounting officer. Now, in the circumstances that we are struggling to interpret absence and also assisting a deputy. In line with with accountability, you may also need to seek some additional clarity. You also understand the background of your entity. A presidential letter is saying there is corruption. There is corruption. The Auditor General is also alluding to many of these revelations. But we can also not be held back because she needs to consult. As a committee and with this observation, aware that the board also, we have issues to do with the board. We shall first of all proceed and invite the board. The board of Civil Aviation Authority, because we have respective issues and questions for them, and in line with the operation. We shall also proceed and inspect, make a spot-on inspection, physical inspection, because when you hear such allegations of unfunctioning scanners, now the public must be facing the inconvenience. We have within the audit report the same, and the Auditor General is just referring to some of these as idle assets that the Auditor General is not telling us that they are either faulty or not, they are just lying there. So it means we also need to do a physical inspection, and probably we shall ascertain who is in charge than making assumption. Clerk, when can we have this inspection? It looks urgent. It looks urgent. We need to make. If we make a spot-on inspection on civil aviation tomorrow morning at 8. Yes? Okay. At 8 tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So, Civil Aviation Authority, we don't want to hear about scanners, non-functioning and what have you. So tomorrow we are going to start with that inspection, and then we shall decide when to engage the board. I think 2 hours will be enough for us to inspect some of. We are inspecting only Entebbe. Entebbe. For any other distant place, we may appoint a team to delegate a team.
Honorable Chair, I beg your pardon on that matter.